feeds your daily Cougar obsession. Listen to Cougar Tracks weeknights at 6:30 on KSL News Radio and on the KSL Sports YouTube page.
That's right. You can listen to Cougar Tracks every day here on KSL News Radio and get fed Cougar content. But we're feeding you Big 12 content right now on First and 12. Mitch Harper and Alex Kirry with you. And it's the last segment of the show. We're looking ahead to Week 13. Let's give some game predictions.
First and 12 predictions, scores, blowouts, and more with Mitch and Alex on First and 12.
All right, everybody. Let's get some predictions going on here. I don't know. Maybe predicting games has gotten a little bit easier as the season's gone along here because people in this conference like to tell you what they are. And then every once in a while you get these wild moments where teams will outperform what you think they're going to do or going to be. I think it's games like Kansas at Iowa State, which is where we're going to start things off here, that are a little bit tougher to make a predictor on because those two teams have underperformed this year. However, going to Iowa State and Kansas coming in, is there a trophy on the line of some sort here? Is there because Iowa State and Iowa have one. Iowa State and Kansas State have the sunflower situation, right? Isn't that what they call it, the sunflower situation? And then you've got Kansas State and Kansas, obviously. No, maybe that's the sunflower battle. Either way.
Sunflower Showdown is K-State, Kansas. Iowa State.
Farmageddon is Kansas State, Iowa State.
Yes, that's okay. Right. And then Kansas and Iowa State, I don't believe there's a trophy.
We got to get a dumb trophy for that. So I'm going to go with Kansas going to Iowa State. I think Iowa State might actually they may have given up on themselves a little bit. And I know they came back and beat TCU a couple weeks ago, but I think Kansas is going to find some crazy juju on the road. And I'm going to predict, even though that Iowa State is a favorite in this one, not by much, I'm going to go Kansas getting the upset at Iowa State.
I'm going to go with Iowa State, but your pick with Kansas, I'm sure, is what the league headquarters want, because if Kansas gets the 6th win, another bowl team for the league and get that bowl payout money, that conference money. Baylor at Arizona. I'm going with Arizona. Bear down. Who you got?
Yeah, I'll stay with Arizona as well. Baylor is at this point. I think you saw the death throes last week, and I saw with the punches thrown at Utah against Utah. I think you saw a team that is all sorts of out of sorts. They aren't. I feel like they've kind of given up because they feel like the community's given up on them. It's hard not to think that. And Arizona's trending the opposite direction. I think Arizona gets a win there, and I think it's probably by 2 scores.
Baylor's offense, though, still reminds us at moments, even against Utah, where it's like they can put up numbers,
Did
man.
They have 500 and something yards against Utah?
It's crazy, and that's against Utah. Where typically Utah teams, they're hanging their hat on the defense is going to carry the day. Like that Baylor still gives you moments where you go, why does this team have 5 losses? Why are they as so just underwhelming as they've been this year? But
TCU's a little bit the same way too.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to go with Arizona and TCU. You bring up them. TCU at number 23. Houston, who you got?
All right, this is I love what Houston's doing. But they're going to do what a lot of teams have done when they keep cracking the top 25. They're going to exit again, stage left. They're going to lose down in Houston against TCU because TCU, I think, just has more talent, and I think that they're probably going to wake up, smell some blood in the water, and go, hey, man, we don't just want to be bowl eligible. We want to be – because I think TCU's got a couple games left, right? And so they'll likely be playing 2 more games. They can get to 8 wins on the season, and that looks pretty darn good compared to what people are kind of saying about you. I think TCU goes down and gets the upset against Houston. I'm like upset central this week.
I'm going to go with Houston to defend home turf. They already had that upset performance earlier in the year against West Virginia. I'm going to say they avoid it this week, but it wouldn't shock me. Your pick. Oklahoma State at UCF. Who you got?
Oh, do I have to got anything? I'm going to go with UCF at home. Oklahoma State, the best that they looked all season was probably last week during senior day. I told you, I go, when they showed the pregame and those guys were going, this is our house, we got to protect this house. I was like, oh boy. I think that's as much as they could protect the house was a touchdown loss to Kansas State. I think they're going to lose pretty handily at UCF.
I'm going with Oklahoma State to get their first win since the BYU game in 2023 in Big 12 play. I'm going to go for it. I'm jumping in. Maybe it's just the magic of those shirtless Cowboy fans that just are.
They just keep showing up, man.
I thought Oklahoma State hanging with K-State, it showed me something. Look, I don't think UCF's that good. I'll go with Oklahoma State to just shock the Big 12 world and actually get a win. So I'm going to go with the Pogues.
All right. How about Arizona State going to Colorado? We haven't seen the Buffs in a minute. We got to see what Coach Prime's going to put on the field this week.
I'm going to go with Arizona State. You know, I hope this offseason, Colorado's AD, Rick George, he's moving on. That we found that out in the bye week. It seems like there's this feeling of, well, is Coach Prime going to move on? I still feel like he's going to stay. Like I get the sense that he's invested in that Colorado program, but this has been a lost season for the Buffs. I'm going to go with ASU to get their 8th win and maybe climb the college football playoff rankings next week.
I'm going to say a little bit on my upset train. I think Colorado, they figured some things out in the bye week. They found themselves a little bit.
Hey, they can't be worse out of a bye week than what they did against Utah.
No, and I think that Arizona State is also due to lose to a team who might just show up a little bit to a game, and so I think Colorado's going to get the upset there, and they're at home at Folsom Field, so we'll see how that goes. How about Kansas State going to number 12 Utah? Utah, by the way, beating Big 12 opponents by 35-plus points this year.
I think Utah wins this game. I think Kansas State hangs for a half. I think they can make this kind of muck it up a little bit and make this thing a little bit sloppy for Utah early. I think Kansas State's got some moments where they can, physically match up with Utah. They're the type of team that I think physically can match up with the Utes, but I think Utah overwhelms them in the second half, pulls away, and wins by 2 touchdowns.
I don't love a 2 p.m. kickoff at Rice-Eccles Stadium, but I do think that they're going to take care of business. They're going to keep this thing rolling. I think Avery Johnson is super talented, and a running quarterback has been a problem for this Utah team, but I don't think to this extent, and I think you're going to see Utah roll again this week up at home. They're going to get the dominant win. Now, the final one, the biggest matchup of the week, number 11 BYU going to Cincinnati at Nippert Stadium. What do you have? You got the Cougs, you got the Bearcats. What happens in this one, Mitch?
I think BYU wins, and I think BYU not only wins, I think they blow out Cincinnati. Whoa. I think they win by double figures, at 10 points at least. I think BYU matches up really well with Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to get Evan Pryor back, at least that's what they're expecting, which makes them more formidable. But I think that BYU's offense, seeing L.J. Martin return to his pre-injury form last week against TCU, and even he himself said he was a little bit nervous against Texas Tech, and he's gained more confidence coming back from the injury. Give me BYU to maybe earn a little style points potentially and put the pressure on the committee to say, hey, move us into that bracket. So I'm going to go with BYU.
All right. There it is. There's our program.
Who you got?
Oh, did I not make my pick? Sorry, Gustavo's like, get your pick.
We need to hear your pick.
I'm going to go Cougs. I don't think it's going to be a double-digit win, but I think that they still win by a touchdown there in Cincinnati, and I think that they'll have it'll still be something that people are going to talk about, and maybe it's going to be and they only beat Cincinnati by 8 points. Unranked Cincinnati. Like, they just love dogging those guys, but I think BYU goes in and does just enough to be able to say, hey, and avoid a disaster at the end of the season, which is all they need to do. Just avoid the disaster, get to the Big 12 championship game, then prove everybody wrong. If you're a Cougar fan out there, you got to just hope that I think you get the Big 12 championship. All you have to do is win the Big 12 championship, Mitch. That's it. And then you're in.
Just win your last 3, and then you're in.
Sounds easy. All right. That's another one in the books for us. 1st and 12. Gustavo Rodriguez is our producer. He does a phenomenal job. Mitch, Harper, Alex, Kirry. We'll be back again next week, and we'll see what college football brings us, and we'll bring it to you right here on 1st and 12 on KSL News Radio.